This video is about Tetra Pak, but Tetra Pak with a slight difference. What we're going to do is we're not going to aim for doing pretty pictures of birds or landscape or anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on doing sort of shapes, creating shapes and composition and what sort of abstract forms, just to have fun and play around with textures, tones and shapes, and then we're going to put them all together into a composition that might not work out, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to experiment. Hope you enjoy the video.
You guys know I've been making art for years, but honestly, I get stuck all the time. And sometimes I just want an honest opinion and no judgmental opinion. And it's awkward to ask someone or other artists or someone who doesn't know anything about art. This is why I've created this app called Art Critique. I've been using it to fix my own composition, color palette, tonal values, and it's been a real game changer. I've made it for me, but I really want you guys to have it too. Grab a link in the description.
Right, so these are all the Tetra Paks that I've got available to me in my studio. So these are your typical sort of milk carton Tetra Paks, and they are fun because they have all these creases, and it's pretty cool. I'm going to use this shape. This is a really random shape, probably from me cutting something out, but I'm kind of happy with these shapes. I'm going to leave them the way they are, and I've got a circle here. So I'm going to use these, and then I've got these. These are really interesting because if I sort of put them against the light, as you can see, some bits are shiny and some are matte. So as you probably know from intaglio printmaking, is that if you put ink on a matte area, some of it won't quite wipe away. So if you put something on an area that's got some bite to it, it won't quite wipe away. So when you print it, it will print probably mid-tone. If I put black on it, it will be kind of sort of grayish. If I put ink on a shiny area and wipe it off, then this will be very pale. Hardly any ink will stay on that because it's smooth. It will just wipe off. So I'm using the fact that, of course, yeah, I could also print on the other side, which is completely matte, and that will be all very uniform and dark. Maybe those bits here that got ripped off might print, well, they would print darker. But what I'm using here, first of all, I'm using all these shapes here that I got. It's a really interesting shape in itself, so I'm using that. I've got another one here that's very similar. It's even got some texture here I could use, but probably use this side because it's got these partially sort of shiny areas. And then I'm going to use this. This is completely matte. I reckon quite a lot of ink is going to get trapped here. Quite like this shape here. So I've got all of these creases here, which is fun. So I'm just going to let rip and just create loads of shapes. And I'm going to use these shapes to create some fun abstract prints. So yeah, let's get going. I've got this tape here, which is aluminium foil tape, but it's a sticky tape. So I'm gonna, obviously, if I stick it down here, this will be a very shiny area on a matte background. So it will print very pale. But what I could do as well is I could do a bit of this. I could give it some interesting texture before I add it to my Tetra Pak. So yeah, let's go for it. And I'm going to tear it as well. So let's start with that, which would be fun. So we've got this texture here, which should transpire. Okay, we'll just get the corners cut. My next addition is going to be sometimes use some textures from nature and do sort of photocopies and create these stencils. Kind of thinking about where I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to use a jelly plate here because it's really good holding ground for if you don't want things to slip around. So it kind of holds things nicely. I sort of stick it on. And I'm going to use extra heavy gel medium to do this. And this kind of, well, they call it color shaper. Ah, this is great. So I've just got to wait for it to dry or hair dry it. Really fancy adding this glass bead gel. So this is a golden product and it's got small glass beads. It should give me some really interesting textures. So I'm just going to sort of apply it like so. If you would like to learn more about this technique in person, I will be teaching this as part of a week-long art retreat in Mexico at the end of January 2027 in San Miguel de Allende. And there will be a whole day on Tetra Pak. If you'd like any more questions, message me on YouTube, my website, or Instagram page, or have a look. There is a link of all the information about the course in the description. And now I'm going to use a carborundum plate making gel by Akua. That will give us a very rough texture. It's got carborundum in it. So I'm using quite a coarse brush and I'm going to sort of create these textures here that hopefully will show up when we print as dark. I might intersect it with some glossy gel as well in a minute once it's dry. Again, it's so useful to sort of keep it rested on the jelly plate so it doesn't move. So I'm going to use just a little bit of my craft knife and score. Here I'm just adding some gloss medium, which I have in this bottle with very thin nozzle. So I just want to get these lines across and they should stand out against a very dark and grainy carborundum medium. Next step, I want to create some texture up above or the top of the Tetra Pak. So this is a clear tar gel, which is a really gloopy and very glossy kind of gel. And it's great because of its density. I can create really good brush strokes with it. So if I brush it against this matte card, I should get some really nice light areas that will reveal those brush strokes. So this is the reason why I'm using this clear tar gel. Before the gloss medium streaks have an opportunity to dry, I'm just using this powder called mica flakes, which I want to stick just to the wet gloss streaks, just to give it a bit of extra kind of texture. And I want this part of the Tetra Pak to have this sort of different feel to it and a nice looking texture. So yeah, once you get rid of all the excess, just wait for it to dry. I have decided to create some more texture in that bottom left corner. So I used this stencil that I made years ago. I can't remember what I made it for, but I thought, quite fancy a bit of that on my Tetra Pak. So using the heavy body matte medium to create those shapes through my stencil. And well, let's see how that blends in. And just as a finishing touch, I'm going to add a bit more of those mica flakes on top of the stenciled pattern before it dries. So there's just kind of extra texture there. Whether they stick or not, we'll just find out. Then I just added some detail here by peeling off I just created those three vertical shapes, and they should print quite dark because they will be sort of engraved. Then I decided to change the shape slightly of the Tetra Pak. I just fancied sort of taking some bits away. I felt a little bit too square. I don't know, just fancied doing that. And I did the same on the other side at the top of the Tetra Pak shape as well. Um, and then I kind of felt like I needed some interesting textures at the bottom as well. So I just simply peeled off uh, some shapes from the card, and they will print darker. So the bits that I'm peeling off will trap a lot more ink, and they should print darker from the rest. Now that the plate is dry, I waited till next day because there's a lot of complex layers there. I'm ready to ink up, and I'm doing it on my jelly plate again because it's such a good holding ground so my plate doesn't travel. And I'm applying the ink with just a piece of card, like a mount card, and rubbing the ink into the grooves with sort of round motions with a scrim. And that kind of inserts the ink further into the plate, but it also wipes the ink off a little bit. So I'm inking up here using Intaglio Printmaker's ink, but it can be any kind of Intaglio ink you use, whatever you use, Aqua or any other inks. And here I've decided to kind of rub it in with a brush. I've got a very stiff brush just to help me because those glass beads can be a bit tricky as well. Um, and it's just a little bit easier doing it with the brush. So again, I'm rubbing it in with the scrim here and polishing at the same time, so getting some ink off as well as sort of pushing it in. And then I'm doing a third color at the bottom, and this is called an a la poupée inking up technique. So we use one plate and different color inks, so you ink up different colors in different areas of the plate. So inevitably some blending of colors will happen, but that can have really nice results as well. And you can of course use all sorts of different colors and print in different kind of variants. Towards the end, I always use a bit of newsprint to polish the plate, what I call polish the plate. Polishing the plate is great because it kind of gives some of our textures a real crisp look, and we can get a lot more detail when we polish the plate. So as you can see, a lot of detail is now being revealed as we go with newsprint over the plate textures. Okay, two things. Where we had the glass beads, I didn't push enough ink in, so that printed, the ink didn't get into between the glass beads. And if in this place it did, so you can see the texture you get with glass beads. It's actually really lovely. Um, so I'm going to have another run and do it a little bit harder with the ink and a brush. Um, this bit here came out really nice. I didn't want it to be too prominent, and that worked out actually. I wanted it to be just sort of an outline of these stones. Quite like that little hole there. This worked out really beautifully. I really like that. So the mid-tone of the cardboard worked really nicely. It's not too pale. I didn't overwipe it. And where I peeled off, it looks really nice and dark. The aluminium foil looks really good. I love this. It looks like stones. It's the effect that I was looking for. And those swish marks I did with gloss medium against the really dark carborundum plate gel, and also I did lighten it a little bit with some more gloss medium, and those scratch marks are really lovely, just a little bit of them. Yes, so that I'm pleased with the sky, and we do have a little bit of a glass bead there going on. I think, oh no, that was mica flakes. Yeah, mica flakes, they didn't come out too much. Wonder, yeah, if they might actually stuck properly onto it. But yeah, the upper part, oh, I think that's really sweet. I love that bit. And when I did the brush strokes with the coal tar gel, it's really good. I love the coal tar gel effect, so I'm gonna definitely use that more. Yeah, and that was the heavy body matte medium, the heavy matte medium that we did here with the pattern, my stencil. So that looks really lovely. Really rather pleased with that. So cool. All in all, brilliant. I'm gonna have another go. Better results with regards to I had a second go and I chose sort of more amber color. Well, I chose amber to go in the middle instead of warm red mixture and amber. And I definitely like the colors more. With regards to the white, so what I did differently in this run is I used a rougher side of the paper, so the fibers are a bit looser. So the gaps between the beads, the paper managed to get in a little bit better here because it's the fibers are a bit looser. But I think basically the distance between the top of the bead and the paper is too high for paper to, even though I had enough ink this time, I couldn't quite get the paper in. So, in fact, actually, now that this area is a little bit smaller, that doesn't bother me too much, actually. And I kind of like the fact that the ink didn't quite get in there, but you could solve this problem by adding chincolé. So you can still use glass beads, and if you don't want any white to show through. But I suppose it's kind of part of the effect, I guess, isn't it? So as you can see, if I'm just sort of focusing, I kind of like it. It sort of gives it almost like a shimmering type of effect. So not too bad. Yeah, much prefer this print. It's looking quite good now. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more of Tetra Pak videos, I will soon be publishing more videos using the other Tetra Pak substrates that I've mentioned at the video introduction. So I'll show you some different techniques as well, and hopefully see you at the next video.